Okay. Um, I believe I am live. Let's see. But man, like that was that was a crazy game. That was a great win for the Lakers. I'm excited. I'm excited. This Laker team is starting to get things together, starting to get wins together. What is up, Viking? You are the first one here. What is up, man? I am excited. This Laker team is coming together. You're starting to see it, man. You really are. I mean, um, they started 16 and 13, right? Um, and now they're starting to come together. You're starting to see it because they're starting to get more healthy, whatever the case is. Um, but I can go over a couple of players and whatnot. And this was just a great game. A great game by the Lakers. I don't care. I don't care who it was against. Okay, like the Kings are still a professional basketball team. Okay, you can't take any win and look on a calendar and just say, hey, you know what? It doesn't matter. But yeah, let me just go over a couple of the players. I'll wait for a couple people to come through and we'll go from there. Okay. Yes, Malik Monk did go off, man. I'm gonna go over Malik Monk in a bit, but man, Malik Monk is something else, man. I love Malik Monk. I'm just so glad he's on our team, right? I mean, he is just fantastic, and when you combine that with our star power, um, this team is looking real dangerous if they can get things right even more, and if they could stay healthy. This team really does have that potential, and it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to move forward with this kind of team. And I'm just glad that the Lakers have a future in Malik Monk. Malik Monk is that guy. I'm so glad Malik Monk is on this team, man. He is, like I mentioned before, Malik Monk is just seriously. I'm not saying he's Kobe. I'm not saying he's a young Kobe by any means, but that attitude, that swagger, that confidence that he has, um, I'm not. It really does remind me of a young Kobe like that, and it's fantastic. I love Malik Monk, man. I love him. So, good. It was a great win. It was honestly just a great win. Uh, but yeah, I'm gonna wait for people to join, and then we can go ahead and get in the sorry, get in the actual game and start talking. Zero turnovers for us. That is a good point to make because although he didn't shoot necessarily that well, Albert, zero turnovers is a big deal because I mean that just gives us more opportunity to actually, you know, just preventing easy baskets for the opponents. So that was a good point that you made because Russell Westbrook is by no means is the topic of discussion, but you know I'm glad. I'm glad that he didn't necessarily have the greatest offensive game, but I'm just glad that he didn't turn the ball over because yeah. Let's see what else do we got going on. Yeah, it really is like an alternate universe, isn't it? It seems kind of weird with Russell Westbrook with no what do you call that? With no turnovers. I mean, that's just crazy. But yeah. Let's get the stream going. Got a lot to talk about. I mean, I know only 5 games occurred today in the NBA, but hey, still plenty to talk about. It's been a couple of days since the Lakers played. So, got a lot to talk about. Got a lot to talk about. Anything y'all want to mention? Leave it down, comment section. You know how we do it. I should probably notify the Discord, so I'll go ahead and do that. But man, I'm excited. I'm genuinely happy that the Lakers are winning like this. So we'll definitely see what's good. Let's see here. So anything y'all want to say about that win or anything y'all want to say in general, go ahead, put it out there. We'll go ahead, talk about it. But man, let me just I was gonna mention this one point. Actually I'll say that before this. Viking says THT finally looking like himself. He's definitely better off the bench fit wise. 100% agree. I never liked THT in the lineup just because LeBron needs shooters around him, right? I think we can all agree on that. THT's not he's not a catch and shoot, you know, uh, catch and shoot shooter. So like, you know, just give me 1 sec. Just notifying the Discord right now. But yeah, THT is definitely off the bench. Off the bench, definitely better. So I love it. He was able to kind of do his own thing, right? He was able to handle the ball much, much more. That's definitely more beneficial towards us because not only does that take ball handling duties off of someone like Russ and LeBron, but also we have someone who can help run our offense off the bench. So, man, I know Buddy Hield, he came out and he was trying to, put a show on for the fans, right? Trying to prove, hey, this is what y'all are missing. But I'm okay. I'm okay with it. People want to say, "Oh, Buddy Hield's better." I'm not about to have that conversation. Albert says Nets keep losing, so we're 2 games ahead in the East. Yeah, the Nets are losing, and the Bulls. I mean, regardless, this season's a major success, regardless of whatever happens in the playoffs, because of the fact that they weren't expected to do this good. Now they were expected to, make the playoffs, but by no means did I or did many people expect that they're going to be the number 1 seed. Viking says, any ideas on why Ellington has suddenly dropped out of the rotation? I mean, we've seen it before, right? And it's the same thing with DeAndre Jordan. It's more so what the team needs, who's hot, who's not, right? So right now you have Malik Monk playing extremely well basketball. You have Avery Bradley playing extremely well basketball. Wayne Ellington is still serviceable. We're still going to keep him, and he'll still play from time to time. But if Malik Monk and Avery Bradley are going to continue the way that they're playing, it makes sense for Wayne Ellington to not get many reps. That's just kind of like basic logic. I think that the Lakers are trying to go off of, right? Whoever provides the most at the moment, they're going to play until otherwise. And we've seen that time and time again, and it works. Saul Man, what's up? King James, clutch in the fourth quarter. I mean, that's what he does. And he was not having a good game in the first 3 quarters. And then he just comes out and really asserts himself and starts attacking the basket, makes a couple of threes, gets a layup, gets an offensive rebound, giving the ball off to Malik Monk for 3. I mean, King James, dude. I mean, I was going to say if we lost the game, that was going to be because of LeBron, because everyone else was getting the job done except for LeBron. But he took over in the fourth quarter along with Malik Monk. So I don't care if you play poorly quarters 1 through 3. It's a matter of what you do when it matters most, and that was the fourth quarter. LeBron, Malik Monk. I mean, it was great to see. It was great to see. You start to sense the energy in the crowd where it's like, okay, this team could actually start building something special. And I'm just excited. I know. I say that usually after a win, but I'm excited, seriously. But yeah, I just go ahead and notify the Discord. Might get a couple more people in here, but yeah. Albert says, do you think the Bulls should go all in and trade for Grant? Because I hear that the Pistons are interested in Patrick Williams. In terms of financial, if you're looking at that financially, I'm not really sure. I know his contract isn't necessarily the worst. It's actually pretty good. But from what I hear, I mean, I don't really know much about the Pistons, but I hear sometimes that Jeremy Grant sometimes puts up empty stats or holds other players back. I don't know as to how true that is, but you have to definitely look into that to see if you really want someone like Jeremy Grant, because why fix what's broken essentially with the Bulls? If Patrick Williams is doing just fine with the Bulls, maybe you guys could look into another player like Miles Turner. I think that's someone who you would rather need at the moment than Jeremy Grant. But it would be interesting. It'd be interesting. Viking says, going forward, maybe in the clutch, that 2-man game with Monk and LeBron seems to really work. Hopefully they don't go back away from it when AD gets back. Also keeps Russ off the ball. And also another thing, Viking, is that Russ gets benched in the fourth quarter for like the first 5 minutes. I mean, that's just important because that's no shot against Russ. It's just when LeBron and Monk and even THT are doing their thing, there's no point for Russ to be on the court. So he's able to get some rest. And when he does come out, he's able to exploit the defense when they're more exhausted, things of that sort. So I'm really liking the rotations from Frank Vogel. I'm just glad that the Lakers are starting to get wins together. And we've always seen flashes. Flashes are one thing, right? But actually getting the win is another thing. actually stringing together some wins are another thing. And that's what the Lakers are exactly doing. I mean, I've said so many times on my channel, this team has the talent and potential to win a championship. It's just a matter of them getting the chemistry together. It's a matter of them getting the rotations right together, and they just need to stay healthy. And we've seen it when this Laker team is healthy. They can do some damage, and I don't care whatever people want to say against the Kings, Blazers, whoever else. But this team is capable of doing something special. We're kind of under the radar right now, and that's honestly I'm okay with that. I'm perfectly okay with that. If people want to have us under the radar, then you know what? Maybe that's a better thing for us, right? But I'm just glad we have someone like Malik Monk who doesn't shy away from pressure. He by no means just shy away from pressure. And Malik Monk is that guy. I'm so glad he's on our team, man. I mean, the Lakers really wouldn't be going many places without Malik Monk. That's how valuable he has been for our team. You know, the roles, he's been changing roles constantly, and guess what? He's succeeding in every single one of them. And now as a starter, he's been averaging 21 plus in the last 6-7 games. I mean, first of all, we don't even need him scoring that much, but he is, and that's the thing. He wants to do more. So I'm glad for the Lakers. Now I'm glad that we have a future, and whoever, if we can get him on an extension or whatever the case is, we got to get that going because he is a great, great player. Viking says, also, I think Russ is a great offensive rebound and he can get into better position of the ball at times. Felt like he played better, great D in the fourth quarter. Yep. I mean, everyone played better defense in the fourth quarter, especially when it mattered most. Why? Because I'm telling you, energetic players like Malik Monk and LeBron, right? When they brought the energy going, I mean, it just motivates this team to play even harder than they already were. And, rebounding the ball was much, much better this time around because of someone like Dwight Howard. I mean, this was just a great win. I mean, you had the rebounding, you had the defense when it mattered most. And normally it's the other way around where the Lakers will have a lead and then they'll blow it, right? They can't close out quarters. But this game was the complete opposite in that sense where, they were losing by 5, maybe 6 points in the fourth. And they just came back, went on a run, took good shots, and did not turn the ball over. I mean, that is just so important that the Lakers did not turn the ball over. Albert said, THT also had a solid game today. Yeah, THT did have a pretty good game, man. I mean, like I mentioned before, I always believe that he should come off the bench until obviously LeBron is retired or whatever the case is. I think THT's play style is more beneficial for us if he comes off the bench. That's how I believe about it. I mean, because I don't think LeBron and THT can necessarily be consistent offensively with THT in the starting lineup. Maybe in spurts, right? Maybe in spurts that might happen. But regarding like him in the starting lineup, just can't happen. Incredulous said, those missed free throws late in the fourth quarter makes the game closer than it's supposed to be. Yeah, but it happens, and what's important is that the Lakers won. And, to be honest, like they've never been a great free throw shooting team, especially these past few years. Their championship season, they were a subpar free throw shooting team. But now, like, like they still won the chip with the subpar free throw shooting team. So, yeah. Viking says Dwight Howard gave us great minutes. Great decision by Frank to get him in the game and would be willing to change up his plan on the fly. Yeah, because Sacramento is one of the top teams in terms of scoring in the paint. They play big, right? So Frank Vogel understood that. He knew small ball can only work to a certain extent. And you saw players like Dwight Howard come in and really make an impact. Take that away from the Kings. Make them a perimeter shooting team. So great choice by Frank Vogel. Give him his flowers. Chico says, why they don't use Melo as much? Yeah, I mean that's something I was wondering as well. But also you have to understand, when it comes to our rotations, right? Malik Monk essentially does what Melo does, except more. And Malik Monk had the hot hand, and when someone has the hot hand, you're not supposed to bench him for Carmelo Anthony. But Carmelo, he still came in and made a big difference. At the end of the day, they won narrowly, right? And you saw it in the third quarter, right? When they were trailing, they were trying to get some lead going, right? Carmelo with a couple post-up, Carmelo with a couple shots. And although the stats didn't say that he did much, in my eyes, he still made a pretty big difference. I mean, I believe every player made a difference just when it mattered, right? That's just my opinion of things. And I'm just glad that, obviously I love Melo, but man, Malik Monk is that guy, and I'm just glad he's on our team. I don't know how many times I'm going to be saying that same thing throughout this stream, but he really is that guy. He really is that guy. And man, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what this team can do because I do believe they're capable of doing something special. But let's see what else we got going on. The next game is against who's it against? Atlanta? I'm not sure. Oh yeah, Friday against Atlanta, I believe. I expect the Lakers to win that game, regardless of how solid of a roster Atlanta may have. They haven't necessarily been playing consistent basketball. And the way the Lakers have been looking, I expect them to come out and just take care of business. Granted, the Hawks are going to be tough, regardless of what their record is. But I hope if we can extend this win streak to 4, I mean, that would just be amazing. That would just be amazing. So hopefully we can win that game. When I'm sitting there watching the games, right, guys? I'm sitting there watching the games. I'm like, I'm feeling a little more comfortable watching this team than when I did a couple weeks ago. It's just one of those things you think about, like, oh, I actually feel comfortable that the Lakers can compete. I feel comfortable that the Lakers can win this game. You didn't have that feeling of comfort whatsoever, a few weeks ago. So things have definitely changed with the Lakers, and for the better, man. LND 1998, what is up, man? Welcome back to the stream. Dude, great win today. It was just a great win. I'm just glad they got the job done. They took care of business, right? It's like you can only beat who you have on your schedule, am I right? So when people want to question, the quality of opponents that we have been playing, it's like, well, earlier this year we're losing to teams like the Thunder, right? Now we're winning. We took care of business. We need to go 3-0, and this is what the Lakers needed to do. This is one of the first steps, or this is the next step in terms of really establishing yourself as a contender. You need to take care of business against these kind of teams. Obviously, every game can be close, but get the win. That is the most important team. And like I mentioned before, winning is what makes chemistry better. And 3 games in a row now, man. Viking says the game felt like this is what the Lakers could be. Obviously, the way we play, we're not always going to have these low turnover games, but the way the guys played together and off each other was nice. Yeah, that's true. We had low turnovers, but also Viking, we still have a couple players who are coming back in about a few weeks, right? In AD and Kendrick Nunn. So our team's not even at full strength. And then you have to take into account we didn't necessarily shoot the ball well in the first half or in the third quarter, right? We really started to step things up when it mattered most. Our 3-point shooting, our 3-point shooting was kind of subpar at best. So I'm just glad that we got the win, regardless of however we got it, because that's what matters the most is that we got the win. It's just a mentality thing to get 3 wins in a row. It's like, okay, we're now capable of getting some wins together, stringing some wins together. Let's get this consistency going. Let's get more things going. Albert says, what team do you think is your toughest team playing against matchup-wise? For example, Pacers is the toughest team for the Bulls because there are 2 very good big men stopping Zach and DeMar. Honestly, if the Clippers were healthy, I would say the Clippers because of the fact that Kawhi and Paul George could be good matchups against LeBron and AD. But other than that, it's kind of tough to say because we've seen the Lakers and Suns match up this year, and DeAndre Ayton has just done really, really well. But AD hasn't really been himself, and it's really hard to just. I would say the Suns, based off how we are right now in terms of health, consistency, but it'll be interesting to see. Viking says, bro, I always hate that logic about bad teams. When the teams play the Lakers, they literally play. Yeah, 100%, man. I mean, you're talking about a team like the Kings. First of all, they get no media attention or anything. And whenever the Lakers play them, right? Whenever the Lakers play them, it's just everyone goes harder against the Lakers. That's a thing because you're playing the Lakers, and all the players know it. The league knows it, and it's just essentially like something that should be brought up because you're getting your team's best shot. You're playing against LeBron James, Russell Westbrook, and when Anthony Davis is healthy, Anthony Davis in LA, you're going to go off, and you're going to get their team's best shot. So it's like, and also another thing I want to point out, even the trash teams in this league, they're going to give the Lakers their best shot. They're going to give them a run for their money because they're young. They're trying to prove something, and they're all in the NBA for a reason. Okay, any team could beat anyone on any given night. I mean, we just saw the Celtics have been struggling all season long, and then they recently beat the Suns, who have been looking like one of the best teams, if not the best one, in the league this year. So things like that happen. But all I'm simply saying is, I don't, whenever I hear that, like, oh, Lakers just beat these teams, like, dude, we just beat who we had on our schedule. Keep crying about it, okay? Because the Lakers, they're coming, dude. The Lakers are coming through, and it doesn't matter who they beat because getting the win is the most important thing in the game of basketball. Okay, it really is. Uh, LND says, also happy to see Dwight can still be a legit rotation guy for us. We need him. Yeah, we do. But that's the thing. We have that versatility. We have the ability to go small ball when needed, right? But we also have the versatility to go big when needed, right? We have a LeBron and AD, a Dwight Howard. Like we have versatility. So really, I mean, it's just, man, like this team has so much potential, and hopefully they're starting to unlock bits of it as they go. But I'm just excited, man. This team is one of the biggest things though these past 2 weeks is Malik Monk, man. When he first came to the Lakers, I'm most excited about him because I believe he can be that guy. But I wasn't so sure how it was gonna be, displayed on the court this year. But man, is he something else? Albert says, I think for the Lakers, it's the 76ers for me. I mean, Ben Simmons is not playing anymore. So, other than that, you might be right because the 76ers are always great defensively. Joel Embiid's always a troublesome matchup for the Lakers just because of how good he is. But they don't play enough, right? They only play twice a year. So I tried to pick someone who the Lakers see at least 3-4 times a year. And that was either the Suns, the Clippers, right? So that's why I really thought of a West Coast team first. Viking says if AD is AD, not to sound cocky, but only Brooklyn and the Bucks would match up with us because AD could dominate the Warriors and Suns. I 100% agree with you. I mean, when AD was healthy, we've seen last year, even when he was sort of healthy last year, the Suns just could not stop AD in games 3 and 4. Even in the regular season, he went for 40 something points against the Suns. So when AD's healthy, you're right about this, Viking. They can't stop AD. And the Warriors, as far as I'm concerned, yes, they have an amazing team, but who's going to stop AD? I agree with you about Brooklyn. Brooklyn's big man. I'm not really like sure. Like I don't know, but the Bucks could definitely match up with us. But when AD has it on, man, if AD has it on with this kind of team, I believe we can win the championship. I don't care what anyone says. This team has too much potential, too much talent, and once they get the chemistry going to the max, right? This team can do something special things. Darrell McLeod says, "Go Lakers, amen. Go Lakers, man. Great win today. Great to see. Just a 3-win streak. It's just nice to see the Lakers starting to get some wins. I mean, after that adversity of losing 5 in a row, getting the wins the way that they have been, and this is without a couple of good players that we're missing. And it's not even like, oh, it's all LeBron. It's players like Avery Bradley who's really come out and just asserted himself on the defensive end. Dwight Howard this game, right? Carmelo, a couple of other games. It's those role players. And I know LeBron's going to get all the media attention because he is the best player on the team. But what I don't like about the media is when they don't highlight these other guys. I guarantee you, the media, undisputed, first take, they're not going to talk about Malik Monk. They're going to be talking about LeBron. They're going to be talking about, can LeBron take this team to the finals? That's what the narrative has always been. And that's what I never liked is that they never gave the role players their credit. So whatever, man, whatever. That's how the media has always been. So we'll see. We shall see. But what else is good? I'm actually excited, genuinely excited for this team, for the future, for this organization. I mean, if you were to tell me that THT can continue improving, right, we would have him and Monk as our future. That's something you can sort of build around at least. Who knows what their ceiling is at this point? I don't know. I don't know. So yeah, what do y'all have to say? Let's get it going. Bum, 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 bum. I think I saw something that Kendrick Nunn was making significant progress with his injury and that he is still expected to miss out a couple of weeks, but I think he should come back after that. And Kendrick Nunn is also someone who can come off the bench. If you can have a bench with THT, Malik Monk, Kendrick Nunn, that is a nasty, nasty bench. Two Savage says, "What about them Bulls? They are looking really good, man. First in the East, man. Those Bulls are good. Part of me is just like I want Lakers and Bulls in the finals again. I want revenge from 1991." Kate says, "I'm sorry. Can I please ask, are you Middle Eastern or what's your ethnicity?" I'm Indian, Kate. So says, "What do you think about Ariza so far?" I like what Ariza brings to the table, man. He is a lengthy wing defender who can knock down a three when you need it, right? I mean, just defensive purposes, man. I mean, I like what Ariza brings and length. Just being able to defend those bigger three guards. I like Ariza. I do. Viking says, "Think I saw somewhere AD's probably still 4 weeks away." Hey, that's okay. That is okay. As long as AD's healthy by the time he comes back, by no means do I want to rush it and have him come back just to get injured again. That'd be the worst thing that could possibly happen. Um, we'll see. We shall see. I hope AD could just come back and be AD because, uh, he has a lot of time to just, do what he got to do, right? He's not playing any games. So hopefully he really takes this time to just get his body right and just get things going in the right way. So if he comes back, right? If AD comes back the way that we want him to come back, the Lakers are going to win the championship. I'm sorry, but if LeBron is healthy and AD are healthy, this team's already going to be tough to beat. But then you add players like Monk, like Bradley, like Dwight into the mix. I mean, it's just, I don't. It's going to be too hard. Ultimately, I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting overly excited, but it's tough to beat. First of all, LeBron in a 7-game series, but when he has a healthy and deep supporting cast, good luck beating him in a 7-game series. Seriously. I like LeBron has improved his game even more now with the 3-point shot, the clutch factor that he's been displaying this past 2 weeks. I mean, man, he is really evolving his game along with the league. So it's just great to see. Great to see. But also another thing I wanted to mention, because I know a couple of other people are like, "Oh, why didn't Wayne Ellington play? Why didn't Melo play?" And I also mentioned that, hey, it depends on who's hot, right? Because also Ariza hasn't really played as much, right? He's played, but he hasn't played as much. It's in spurts that Frank Vogel understands what the team needs. Oh, we need some scoring? Okay, go in there, Malik Monk. Go in there, Carmelo. Oh, we need 3-point shooting. Okay, well, let's go ahead and send out someone like Carmelo, right? So, oh, we need rebounding, defense, Dwight Howard, right? Avery Bradley. So it's really just a matter of understanding what the game is giving you, right? And just countering it. So I'm glad that can we please give Frank Vogel his credit? Because all season long, people have been criticizing. So yeah, man, that is just it's just great. Anything y'all want to say? What's good? Lakers won, feeling good. 20-19 now. Russell Westbrook 0 turnovers. Looking good. This team's starting to come together. They're starting to look dangerous. Frank is showing up. I'm not really sure what you mean by that, Kate. We mean Frank is showing up events his symptoms were bad. Frank won the Lakers a chip. Yeah, I mean he was a huge part of as to why we won a chip. You know, people want to talk about Frank Vogel not doing this, not doing that. I mean, come on, man. Frank Vogel is also that guy. I don't want people criticizing Frank Vogel. Do you see ESPN right now? They're saying LeBron was one-on-one against the Kings. LeBron this, LeBron that. What about Malik Monk, man? When is he ever going to get your credit, man? Too Savage says, trades you want to see the Lakers make. Honestly, maybe a big. Maybe for like a big. but I wouldn't give up too many. I wouldn't give too many players up for a big. Honestly, I'll just do a minor trade just for someone along with Dwight because DeAndre Jordan is not going to be on our team in the future. That's what I believe. So there is going to be a gap where I do want another center just because I don't want AD playing too much center. So to answer your question, too Savage, I think maybe they can explore another center. Let's see. Kate says they're thrashing Frank as they should be, but he should not be fired. Of course, he should. He should never have been in the discussion of getting fired in the first place, man. Really, he shouldn't have. Gerardo says, "Get sleep." I will. Thanks for your concern. Uh, it's been a long day. Feels like it's been a long day, but man, it's hard to just in general, when you watch your favorite team win like this, after all the adversity, I mean, that's the one thing about not being a bandwagon fan. It's like when you support your team through so much adversity and they finally start performing well, it feels so good. Bandwagons will never understand that feeling, obviously, because they've never gone through it. But yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't think I told you before. Even if the Lakers don't make any trades, um, yeah, Viking, I agree with you. There was some fair criticism of Frank Vogel because obviously you could make your rotations a bit better. But when you have the most roster turnover from the past 2 seasons, when you have players on COVID protocol and injuries, I just don't think if you put another coach onto this Laker team throughout those tough times, it's not like I don't know how much better we're going to do. So that's why I say give Frank Vogel credit. Give him credit for getting this team right. I mean, Dave Fizdale, right? People loved him because it wasn't Frank Vogel. And then as soon as Dave Fizdale came along, we lost almost every game, I think. And then Frank Vogel came along, and now we're starting to win again. We're stabilizing our record. So, man, yeah, that I also agree with that, Viking. Just losing what you have, putting yourself in a different environment, in a different situation. It gives you multiple perspectives as to how you could approach things in terms of how you could go about your opponents, how you could go about your own plays, what works, what doesn't. I mean, there's so much that goes into it, and you know, it's great. It's just great that the Lakers are finally starting to just uh, you know, just starting to come along. This is what we wanted to see. 3 wins. Let's make it a fourth. I genuinely want to know your predictions, guys, in the comment section below right now. Tell me who's winning Friday. Is it going to be the Lakers or is it going to be the Atlanta Hawks? They're playing in LA, right? Uh, who make your prediction? Are Lakers going to win or the Atlanta Hawks going to win? I'm genuinely curious to know what your guys' prediction is. So then I'll know what's good. 30 people in here. Let's get some more comments, get some more things to talk about. And like I mentioned before, it could be about anything, not just the Lakers. So if you want to mention anything, go for it. If you don't, it's all good. Kate says Lakers. Too Savage says Hawks. Viking says 10-3 in the next 13 games. Book it. Hey, I can see that, man. I can see that. That's very realistic. Obviously, you want to take it one game at a time, but I could see it. LND says 1998 says the Hawks. He says the Hawks are going to be really motivated if we come out like we did against Memphis and Portland. Us, if we play like tonight or last game, the Hawks. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting. Trae Young went off, right? But in a sense, it's also deflating because Trae Young went for what, 56 and 14 assists or something. Like he went up for like 2K numbers, and they lost to the Portland Trailblazers. So it will be interesting to see how the Hawks will reapproach this next game against us. And I'm actually curious to see do they have any games in between this one or this upcoming one against the Lakers and now? Yeah, so they are playing Sacramento tomorrow in Sacramento. So then they're gonna play Sacramento first, and then fly down to LA to play us. So it's gonna be it's gonna be we'll see. Viking says Trae Young last name was something else. Yeah, he was. Trae Young is something, dude. He really is. LND says they play Sacramento before, so they'll probably give them a dub and give them slight momentum. Honestly, dude, like the way that they have been playing throughout the year, I just don't know what to expect out of this team, right? It's just a matter of consistency, right? I mean, they're 12th in the Eastern Conference, and that is severely, I'm talking severely underperforming. 16 and 20. I wouldn't say, oh, just because they're playing the Kings, it's a win for them. Because the way they've been looking, it's not appropriate to just do that for them. Uh, so yeah, we'll see. I think the Lakers will win that though. Yeah, he did go off. He did go off. Dude, I mean like that's the thing, like that I think the Blazers just need to break it up and just go back to like going younger, like they're just not gonna I don't think they're gonna do much. Two Savage asks for my prediction on Lakers record by the end of the season. I'm gonna go with let's see, what is the record now? 2019. They've played 39 games. There are 43. I was gonna say 48. I was gonna say 47-35 or 49 and 33 best case scenario. I don't know if they're gonna crack 50, but I would agree with LND. I will agree about top five seed. I will agree with the 48 wins around there. I think it's fair. They would have gotten a couple more wins than 48 had they not gotten COVID and all that other stuff, which included a 5-game losing streak, right? So, yeah. Dude, we got 16 people in here. Where are like Gigi and Albert and Drew and where are they? I'm curious. I'm genuinely curious. Andrew the Goat, where you at? Two Savage says, I think 44 wins personally. That means it would be 44 and 38. Chances are you're probably like a 6 seed or 7 seed even from that record. So do you think that the Lakers will be 6 or 7? Viking says Dame is going to end up in Philly. It's just a matter of time. It's inevitable at this point, I think. So you think Ben Simmons is going to be a Portland Trailblazer? Because, I mean, honestly, it could make sense for both teams, right? Ben Simmons by no means is a bad NBA player. He still has a bunch of potential and talent, and they need to go younger. Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum, they've tried. I've said it 3-4 years ago. They need to break it up because they're not winning anything. There's always a better team that comes along, whether it's the Warriors, the Rockets, the Lakers, the Clippers. It's just they were never at the top of the West, and they've never been able to really do much with them. That duo would be OP. I love Dame, so I'd be happy about that. Dame and Embiid would be something else because you're thinking about the Eastern Conference, right? You got the Nets, you got the Bucks, you got the Bulls, you got the Heat. Even with Jimmy Butler's injury, I don't know what the severity of it is, but he should be able to come back, right? Eventually. And then Sixers, right? I mean, that's just a pretty good Eastern Conference if you ask me. It does seem destined to happen. But Portland, they're not. They want to hold on to Dame as much as possible, which I don't really understand because you got to get the most value you can get for him now. LND says I like Dame and Ben a lot too, though. Great on the short and roll. Elite defender can be a cheat code. A small ball with 5 with Dame. Fill the rest with solid wings. Yeah. Two Savage is crazy how DeMar was considered the worst free agency signing of 2021. Yeah, I mean that's a bit crazy. But that's why they don't want to talk about the Bulls. That's why they don't want to talk about the Bulls. So, because they know they're dead wrong about them. There are 24 people in the chat. I want y'all to search yourselves. Comment down below what y'all thoughts are on this game. Genuinely curious. Or just anything. But like I mentioned before, there are a couple people who came through, talked about the Bulls, talked about the Grizzlies, talked about the Spurs, talked about the Warriors, right? So, yeah. LND says, I wonder what the Lakers would be with him all the time. Here's the thing, LND. I don't think DeRozan would be getting as many opportunities with us like how he's getting in Chicago. I think the fit would be there because he's essentially what Carmelo could be, except little bit worse of a 3-point shooter. I wouldn't anticipate DeRozan on the Lakers as opposed to someone like Westbrook. That would be in a much better position because DeRozan is not a point guard. We needed a point guard. This is a point guard driven league, and we just could not have LeBron continuing those point guard duties 35 minutes to 40 minutes a game. It just wasn't going to happen. So, I think, yeah, I did want DeRozan, but I'm okay with the situation the Lakers are in now. They're getting their act together. They're getting healthy. They're getting better, and that's all that matters. Viking says DeRozan would be averaging 16 points per game with us. Yeah, somewhere along that line. He would know. By no means would he be an MVP candidate, because LeBron would probably encourage him to be a spot-up shooter. Even if he came off the bench, which I said if DeMar did come to the Lakers, I think he should come off the bench. Just because his play style with the Lakers, right, it wouldn't really make sense for him to start along with LeBron and Russ. The spacing isn't really there. So I said, yeah, if he comes off the bench, he can do that. But with the Bulls, he's able to be that alpha or that number 2 to Zach LaVine, and he's an MVP candidate because of it. The Bulls are the number 1 seed. So honestly, DeRozan on the Lakers wouldn't be as good as, people are suggesting it. LND says you keep KCP though, which makes it worth it to me. DeMar and KCP is definitely better than just Russ, but I do see Russ as a positive most of the nights, unlike most. Yeah, and I'm glad you do because everyone keeps bashing on Russ, and I'm glad you mentioned that because like Russ always does those things that a lot of other players don't. He fights for those offensive rebounds. Even though he gets a bunch of rebounds, if people want to call that pat statting, he still goes out and gives 110% effort. He's a competitor. He's going to ensure that your team's at least in a position to compete in these games. And although KCP and DeMar might seem like the better fit overall, I think there's a bit more potential with this team in terms of championship aspirations with LeBron, right? He keep Russ in check. It's just great to see. Two Savage says Kuzma's really balling now. You know what? Kuzma, he's been playing pretty solid this year, right? I mean, by no means is he playing like an all-star. He's playing solid, though. He's playing good. He's had a good, past, 5 games? So, the thing with Kuzma is I've always believed he has the potential to be a good player in this league. And I always believe that he would do well elsewhere, not the Lakers. I don't think the Lakers system really fit him. I don't think that, it was just a good fit in general as the years progressed. LND says he's had a rough week or so until tonight, but before that, he was on a really great stretch. Exactly. Like, I remember when we played in Boston, Russell Westbrook was playing like pure trash. After that, it was like 20 games where Russell Westbrook was playing really, really well, and then he's had a couple bad ever since. And now he had a good one. So, for the most part this season, I think Russell Westbrook has been playing pretty well this season. I just think a lot of people love to give him criticism. They don't watch the games. Russell Westbrook is someone who will always compete, who'll give you the rebounds, who'll always run the fast break, who can run with pace, who can always distribute it off of a double team. I mean, I like Westbrook. I don't care what anybody says. Viking says, couple of nights like this, and I might bury some of this hatred for his play. I get that. I mean, some people want to see it more, but I'm convinced that LeBron and the others in the Lakers can keep Westbrook in check, right? I like the way Westbrook has been playing this season, right? He's been a guy where he's not attempting many threes. He is someone who may get like 4 or 5 turnovers, which is normal with Russ. That you're gonna get that regardless. But at the end of the day, he's a pass first point guard more nowadays, it seems like, which is always the best thing for him. But he has the ability to be a scorer when we need it. That is exactly what the Lakers need. A facilitator priority-wise, but can be a threat scoring. Gogol says, same with Lonzo and Caruso doing well. Yeah, they're doing extremely well. That is an elite backcourt. It's fantastic of what they're doing. And they already had prior chemistry. They did play together earlier in their careers. Caruso's a champion. He knows what it takes to win. Lonzo's always one of those guys where I have always liked him. Even when he was playing poorly on the Lakers, I always defended him. Why? Because I always believed Lonzo had all that potential. And it was just a matter of him getting the confidence, right? Him maybe tweaking his mechanics with his shot a little bit. And then he'll be a great point guard in the league. I think he'll be an all-star one day. GG, what is up, man? It's been a while. Where were you? What's good? Gogol says, and Julius Randle, 30 points tonight. Yeah, I mean, it was just a matter of time before Randle had a game like this. I mean, Randle this entire season has been kind of disappointing. That's also another reason why the Knicks have underperformed, or maybe they overachieved last season. It's just a matter of how you want to look at it, right? LND says Russ is an elite playmaker and rim attacker, not to mention he's literally the best rebounding guard ever. Solid one-on-one defender, but awful off the ball, unfortunately. Yeah, that's understandable, but you saw it in the fourth quarter when Russ was off the ball. They're playing a lot of two-man game with Malik Monk and LeBron. And when players have the hot hand, just go with those two players priority-wise in terms of giving them the basketball. Russ will always be a threat in terms of his slashing ability. But when you have someone like LeBron who's going off in the fourth, when you have someone like Malik Monk who's going off, they create double teams, and it gives opportunities for Russell Westbrook to have a more efficient night. Two Savage's thoughts if Bulls traded for Jeremy Grant. Honestly, I'm not a Bulls fan, but in my opinion, I don't think you guys should do it. The salary, I need to see how that adds up because I don't know their contracts. I think Jeremy Grant's contract is sort of pretty good, but I mean, y'all are first in the East, right? I think what you guys need to go for is a defensive big man. Vucevic is not a defender, but if you guys had like a rebounding defensive big man, right? I'm not even talking about him scoring. If it was someone like JaVale McGee, hypothetically, that would be literally perfect for your team. But Miles Turner's on the market. Sabonis is on the market. I think you guys should probably prioritize them over someone like Jeremy Grant. That's just my personal opinion. I don't watch the Bulls every game. There are some Bulls fans in this chat, so y'all can go ahead and say what you want to say regarding that, because I don't know much about it. Viking says, so seeing all these guys doing great with the Lakers from now, that's great, but the Lakers want a ring with LeBron by catering to him and his needs. 100% agree. I mean, you think about someone like Kuzma, right? He was the best scorer the Lakers had in his rookie year. His second year, LeBron joined. He was number 2 to LeBron. Then his third year, AD came along. Kuzma had to take a step back. Year 4, Dennis Schroeder, Montrez, they came along. So Kuzma had to take another step behind. So Kuzma really had to just change his play style in the role he had to cater to LeBron and the Lakers. So Kuzma on a different team can definitely perform well more consistently. Gigi says Bulls fans are split. Some people want Jeremy Grant and others don't want to give up Patrick Williams for Grant, but that's the only way we would be able to get him. Yeah. Google says you're right. A big defender would rock on the Bulls. Yeah, it really would. I mean, the Lakers, I think they've already played the Bulls twice. So man, like that, all they could use is a defensive big man. Wine Time Sports, LeBron's clutch 3 saved us at the end. That and also Malik Monk, man. Both of those players have been just going off these past 6 games. Where would we be without LeBron? Where would we be without Malik Monk? It's just amazing. I honestly don't know how far the Lakers would be able to do in terms of how well would they do this year without Malik Monk and LeBron James. LND says they need a 4, though. They legit have no 4s on the roster, just a bunch of 2s and 3s in Chi-Town. Yeah, I mean, either way, I mean, you probably could get a defensive 4 or 5. I know someone in the chat mentioned Thaddeus Young. I know he hasn't been playing too hot on the Spurs, but Thaddeus Young on the Bulls wouldn't be too bad. But he is a little bit undersized, though, as a power forward. That's the only thing about Thaddeus Young. Gigi says people are talking about the Bulls getting Grant is because supposedly front office has been talking with the Pistons. Pistons have been wanting Patrick Williams. Yeah, I mean, it's probably more realistic than Miles Turner, right? But I don't know. I mean, Miles Turner needs to go. He needs to leave Indiana. Indiana has no future with him or Sabonis. They keep on losing games. They're in no position to do anything. They need to get value while they still can. Wine Time Sports, yes, Monk has been great. He's been averaging 21 plus. And like you said, he's finally getting his shots. And that's what I wanted. Malik Monk, just let him do his thing. He is a baller. He is a scorer. And he's a solid defender too. I mean, if you think about the things that this guy does on a night in, night out basis, you can rely on him to get a bucket, right? The way that he was able to create his own shot by driving in with the one-handed floater in the fourth quarter, right? Or the three-point shot, or just dribble and get a mid-range shot in the first quarter. Things like that is what the Lakers needed. And Malik Monk just needed his opportunities. He needed his shots. And he's really balling, averaging like 21 plus in the last 6-7 games, shooting extremely efficiently. I think he's shooting above 50%. So, and Malik Monk's not even like, see, you think about a player like LeBron in the past when he was on the Heat. Yeah, he was a primary slasher. So obviously his field goal percentage is going to be higher than volume shooters. But Malik Monk is a scorer. And for him to be averaging above 50% from the field these past 6 games, extremely efficient. Extremely good play from Malik Monk, honestly. If he hypothetically played like this and stayed off the bench, he would win 6-man of the year. Yeah, LND, Malik's right arm is solely for getting buckets. It's like that Nick Young thing, right? Dude, Malik Monk is that guy. He's that guy, and it's great to see because Malik Monk is man, it's exciting. It is exciting. What else we got? I think only like 5 games happened today. So in terms of the NBA league round, there isn't much to talk about. No one really cares about the Knicks and Pacers. Who cares that the Knicks won? They're not going to do anything this year, so I don't care. Raptors beat the Spurs. Suns beat the Pelicans. I mean, come on. Was that not expected? Was that not expected? Yeah, Knicks unfortunately won. We need a Bulls fan in here. Or sorry, we need a Knicks fan in here. I'm genuinely curious. LND says we haven't even seen Kendrick Nunn too. He's gonna help a lot. That's my point. Kendrick Nunn is also a guy. Him and Malik Monk, extremely good duo. Can both play defense. Can both create their own shot. Can both score the mid range, the 3-point shot. Good both off the ball, man. So just great job by both of them. Maximilian, how did Westbrook play? What did he do to help the team? No turnovers from Westbrook, right? He didn't necessarily have the best shooting night, Maximilian, but he rebounded the ball. I mean, he's the greatest rebounding point guard of all time. And he made clutch shots when it mattered. He made timely baskets. So 0 turnovers for Russ. He had one of the highest plus minuses on the team. That's what you got to know. Gogo says, I'm a Knicks fan, and Gigi sent the barfing emoji. Gogo, you gotta, hey, listen, Gogo. I don't know if I'm pronouncing your username correctly, but here. I'm attaching the Discord link in the comment section right now. Go join that, okay? Because we have a good amount of people in there. We're talking about anything. Bulls, Lakers, Warriors, Knicks, whatever the case is, Cavaliers. Gogo, I want you to join the Discord. I need a Knicks fan in that Discord. I want Gigi to have some competition, some trash talk. Viking says, I'll be the Knicks fan. We as Knicks Nation would solely love to take Westbrook off your hands as we are in desperate need of a star. I'm good, man. I'm good. Y'all can keep whoever you have. I'm good with Westbrook. Westbrook is he doesn't deserve a lot of this criticism, if I'm being honest with you, but he gets it anyways, right? So yeah. Gogo, I want you to join the Discord. We need a Knicks fan in there. I'm not in a position to trash talk. It's okay. Knicks and Bulls are rivals. That's what rivalries are about. You know? I mean, when the Lakers were trash, I still trash talk the Clippers. When the Clippers had Lob City and the Lakers were trash, right, with Wesley Johnson, the Clipper fans all of a sudden, aka bandwagon, start trash talking us. I'm like, excuse me? Can y'all even make a conference finals? So, it's okay if you're not in a position to trash talk, but you can still do it. Gigi says he just said the other night, thank God the Discord hasn't been toxic, and now he's trying to start some. Hey, there's a difference between trash talking and toxicity. Those are two different things, right? Two Savage says Westbrook's a star? JK. Oh, yes, he's a very good star. Gogo said, I like Bulls, though, with the moves they made. Very bold. Very bold, but successful. And honestly, you think about the Bulls, they had that money. They had to do something with it, right? And it's not like they had a bad team. They had a pretty solid foundation already with the young pieces they had. Yeah. And Viking says, OMG, I forgot the Clippers are a team. Felt like the relevancy disappeared with Kawhi. Yeah. And now Paul George is out too. So they're back to being who they always used to be. Just pure trash. The Clippers are complete garbo. I will tell you though, I like Ty Lue as their coach. I think that they should keep him as their coach. Google says I like Kobe White and Patrick Williams. Whoa, you like Kobe White? Now ask Bulls fans who likes Kobe White. Maximilian said, how are you feeling about the Heat? I wonder what the Jimmy Butler update is. Maximilian, before Jimmy Butler got injured, I believe that the Heat had the potential to beat any team in the East, including Milwaukee and Brooklyn. Jimmy Butler's injury, it really depends on what the severity of it is. I don't know exactly what the update is in terms of his timeline, of how long he's going to be out for. I don't know. I really don't. I don't. I'm not 100% sure what his timetable is for return. So that's just yet to be seen, I guess I could say. But if they are fully healthy, the Heat could sometimes beat the Nets. They could beat the Bucks. Who knows? I mean, that's what the Eastern Conference is. It's so wide open. It really is. Even though the Nets have all these stars, where you got to take into account teams like the Bucks who won the chip last year. Think about a team like the Bulls who have been doing great things this year. It's so cool. Gigi says goal is so far. He doesn't seem like one of those bing bong Knicks fans. Oh God, dude, that's annoying. But yeah, the Knicks underperforming this year, or maybe they overachieved last year. Just a matter of how you want to look at it. But if we got you in the Discord, Gogo, I would say it'd be great though, because at least we'd have more to talk about. There's this one guy, Drew, who's a Warriors fan. We always talk about the Warriors in there just because he always talks about them. Obviously, we have a Bulls fan, Knicks fan, hypothetically. There's just a lot to talk about. And I know this is a Laker channel, like I mentioned before, but that Discord is for people who just want to stay in touch with us, you know? And I know I stream, I know I post videos, but I like talking to you guys on Discord as well. Let's see, what else we got? What else is going on? Someone named Saint Loop 16 joined. Can you assert yourselves? Annalyn, what's up? I love Lakers. Yes, I love the Lakers too. They're looking good. They're looking better. Build that winning streak, get something going, you know, and that's what it's all about. No more negativity. I just want positive vibes only with this Laker team. I'm feeling good about the position the Lakers are in, and I'm just excited. Gigi said Albert is a Bulls fan too. Yes, he is. There are other people who are just not in the stream right now. The couple that we are missing that usually come every single stream. But yeah, Two Savages. You think the Lakers will beat the Suns, Warriors, or Jazz? I don't think they can win at full strength. I disagree with you. I think if the Lakers can get their chemistry at the best it could be, if they are healthy. First of all, let's take the Jazz out of that equation. No disrespect whatsoever to the Jazz, but every single year they are a team that's always, top 4 in the West, but in the playoffs, they choke. They choked last year. They choked the other year. I mean, I'm sorry, but I can't take the Jazz seriously until they actually make a deep run in the postseason. If the Lakers, their roster is more built for the playoffs anyways. When the game slows down, right? Coaching staff matters. I trust Frank Vogel in the playoffs. I trust LeBron in the playoffs. I trust AD in the playoffs. That's what I'm saying. The thing with the Jazz is that everyone else just all of a sudden doesn't know how to play basketball except for Donovan Mitchell. I keep up with the Jazz a lot, okay? I went to school in Salt Lake. I watched the Jazz plenty, okay? And it's the same story every single year. They do well in the regular season, right? They're good. They could maybe go to a conference finals at most, but they're not title contenders in my opinion. They're just a really good team. They're missing one more player because Donovan Mitchell's always that guy who has to carry that load. That's just my personal opinion about the Jazz. Let me know if you guys disagree with that. Are the Jazz going to do anything this year? Because in my opinion, the Warriors and Suns are both better than them. And I think if the Lakers can get their act together, and which they will, I think the Lakers can beat them because AD matches up really well. The Jazz don't really have much of an answer for AD. So that's also another thing to point out. Gigi said, how did Tristan look? You think he could be the big man Bulls need? I'm not really sure. I don't really keep up with Tristan Thompson. I'm sure you guys probably get him. I don't know. I mean, here's the thing about what the Bulls need. They just need a rebounding big who can play some defense. That's all. they don't need him to do much, So it's like, it's kind of like the Warriors when they needed Zaza Pachulia. It's like, dude, he didn't really do anything, but just be that guy. So I don't know. Maybe Tristan Thompson can fit in that role pretty solidly. So maybe he could be the big man that the Bulls can go for, and I'm sure you guys can get him at a cheaper price. Viking says, "Yo, St. Luke's is my brother. I put him on. Let's go." I appreciate that, man. I appreciate y'all. I mean, that's just cool that you did that. Two Savage says, "True about the Jazz." Yeah, I mean, I've always believed that about the Jazz. I'm sorry. Maximilian says, Vucevic isn't that for the Bulls. Vucevic is a scorer. He's great spacing wise, but he isn't necessarily known as a rim protector, someone who can grab 8 to 10 rebounds. You know what I mean? He's not an anchor in the paint, a defensive anchor. So that's what I'm saying. It's good to have that flexibility if you're the Bulls. Have a guy who can space out, right? And also have a guy who can play some defense, get some rebounds consistently, night in, night out basis. That's what the Bulls, if they need anything, that's what they need, in my opinion. I think the Bulls could really use someone like that. But man, that's interesting. There are 27 people on this stream. Assert yourselves. Assert yourselves, guys. But yeah, we got some people on Discord. It's cool. Vucevic has been averaging 15 rebounds the last couple of games. I'm talking about the totality of the season, right? It's just good to have another big guy, just to kind of take that off of Vucevic's load a little bit. You know what I mean? Because we all know what player he is. Yeah, I think he did have 17 rebounds. This season, he's been averaging double-digit rebounds. But yeah, Poo Poo says true. What is up, Poo Poo? Like your username. What's up? Viking says, I'm not big on Jay Grant to the Lakers, to be honest. I don't think he's a fit now. We have defensive wings now, and he's not that efficient. I agree with you, Viking. And that's the thing. People just want to go for Jeremy Grant because of the name. But if you actually look into his game, right, like, he's solid. Don't get me wrong. He's a good player. But by no means do the Lakers need Jeremy Grant. They're doing just fine without him. It's just a matter of us getting healthy. It's just a matter of us getting our chemistry going. I don't think we need Jeremy Grant. Viking says Turner would be a great fit for the Bulls. I think that's the guy they should go after instead of Grant. I also agree with that, Viking. I think Turner would be a great fit for the Bulls. I'm not sure if Indiana would deal him to a division rival. I'm not sure. I'm not sure because you see teams and GMs and executives, right? They're not willing to trade a potential all-star to their rivals. Heck no, they're not going to do that. So it's going to be interesting. First of all, two things. Indiana has to trade him, right? Indiana has to trade him to Chicago. And then they have to even be willing to trade Miles Turner. But I don't know what Indiana's even doing at this point. And I agree with the point that Gigi made. How realistic is Miles Turner? I'm not sure how realistic it is, but it would be a great fit for the Bulls. If I was a Bulls fan, I would probably be watching Miles Turner's highlights. Gigi says, I love Turner on the Bulls, but I don't think it's as realistic as Jeremy Grant. Yeah, probably, because Jeremy Grant is definitely more tradable. The Bulls, you said, have been talking with the Pistons, but it'll be interesting. I mean, this is the thing about basketball. The Bulls are doing so well now, but that could easily change by the next half of the season because some other teams make some big moves. The trade deadline is going to be really, really big this year. I'm curious to see how it will be, because here's the thing with the trade deadline, when the Warriors were around, I'm talking with KD and stuff, we all knew it was going to be Warriors Cavs in the finals. So that's why you didn't see much activity in the trade deadline as much, right? Because teams normally didn't really care about making moves. They didn't want to compete with the Warriors because they believed they had no shot at beating them, which is true. But now it's wide open. Anyone can make the finals. Anyone can win the championship, which is why I say there's a more legitimate chance that something big goes down in the trade deadline. I'm curious to see it. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting. I'm just going to say that to say the least. Gigi says Bulls could trade for Grant and get a big man on the buyout market. That is also a feasible option, right? You can sign someone to a veteran minimum, right? Poo Poo says, are they signing Stanley Johnson? That is the motive that the Lakers have right now. They traded Rondo away, and then they waived Denzel Valentine because They can open up a roster spot without hitting the hard cap and luxury tax. So they are planning on signing Stanley Johnson. And that is something I noticed. I'm like, where is Stanley Johnson? I just thought about that after the game. But Stanley Johnson is a huge deal for the Lakers, man. Viking says Grant seems a little redundant on the Bulls. I don't think Grant would even be on the floor for your closing lineup for the Bulls. With Levine, DeRozan already pretty ball dominant, Lonzo fits great. You know, people question the fit about DeMar and Zach LaVine. I think Grant would fit fine on the Bulls. I don't think that's the issue. It's just, who would you give up? How much better are you realistically getting by acquiring someone like a Jeremy Grant? Are you going to trade away Patrick Williams away? Are you going to trade away a couple of players who've been playing well for you this season? So it's really addition by subtraction. You got to really see, is this team going to get much better with Jeremy Grant? Is Jeremy Grant going to be the reason why they make even a deeper playoff run than maybe what we already expect them to do, right? Gigi says, I know Grant has his flaws, but a lineup of Lonzo, Levine, DeMar, Grant, and Vucevic is intriguing. That is very intriguing. Small ball, Vucevic can space out the floor. Everyone can shoot in that lineup, right? Everyone can space out the floor. Lonzo, Grant, they can all play defense, right? So it would be interesting. It would be interesting, but like I mentioned before, it's you have to understand who you're getting rid of, and you really have to take that into consideration to see if the Bulls get much better from that. So I think that's pretty fair to say. Let me know your thoughts on that, because that's a little intriguing. I'm curious to know what the Bulls can do regarding that. Maybe y'all can give up Kobe White. I know Bulls fans don't really love Kobe White, at least some of them. Viking says, I think Jeremy Grant is like 32% on catch and shoot and threes, and his defense has taken steps back. Yeah, that's also true. Jeremy Grant has taken multiple steps back, but also the fact that he's playing on the Pistons. You know, I mean, put him in a better situation. I think he's going to play better. Boulder says, I'm proud Russ didn't have any turnovers, though. Dude, that's such a big deal. Even if Russ didn't have a good shooting night, for him to have no turnovers and to be the effective rebounding guard that he is, the energetic player, the competitor that he is, I mean, it's just great. It's just great the way he played, and that was a huge reason why we won. Because LeBron was not playing well in the first three quarters, and had Russ turned the ball over at least 4 times, we would have lost today. So give Russ a lot of credit. I know Malik Monk did his thing. I know LeBron did his thing in the fourth quarter especially. But if Russ turned the ball over just even a little bit, we would have lost. Gigi said, I think the Bulls want Jeremy Grant, but not for a rental if he's only going to be here for a year and a half. And risking losing Williams out to be a future star, and he's only 19 or 20. That's the thing. That's my point. Jeremy Grant's, what, 26, 27? He's injured right now, if I'm not mistaken. Patrick Williams has that potential, and I just don't see it. I just don't understand how Jeremy Grant would, hypothetically saying, put Jeremy Grant on the Bulls. Are they winning the championship this year because he's on the Bulls now? I don't think so. I don't think the Bulls win the chip this year, just my personal opinion. I think they should hold on to Patrick Williams. I don't think they should get Jeremy Grant for Patrick Williams. Folder says LeBron was 1 of 5 from 3 in the first 3 quarters. Exactly my point, Folder. He was playing pretty poorly in the first 3 quarters. And then the fourth quarter, what happened? Couple of 3-pointers went in. He started being aggressive and all that stuff. It was just great. Poo-Poo says they needed to keep playing Howard. He's still good. Of course, and it's all based on matchups. Frank Vogel, he understood the Kings play big, right? But yeah, I mean, great for Dwight Howard. Viking says, I'm sounding like a Grant hater, but I think the Bulls are great the way they are. Just stick with it. 100% agree with you. If you're going to make a change, don't make a change that's going to subtract too many good pieces from your team. Don't be desperate to trade away Patrick Williams, who has the potential to be something special in this league, like the points Gigi made for Jeremy Grant. You don't do that. Gigi said Grant won't help a team if he's the number 1 option, but on the Bulls, he'd be the 3rd or 4th option. Exactly my point that I was telling someone else earlier. Those numbers that you see always not as efficiently on the catch and shoot. His defense took a step back. I think that gets rejuvenated with the Bulls. When you play for the worst team in the league, it's hard. It's hard to play well consistently. It really, really is. And then 2 Savage says, Westbrook trade for Kemba. Heck no. No. I don't want Kemba Walker. I love what he's been doing recently, but by no means do you trade Kemba Walker. Antonio said Malik was balling. Yes, he was, dude. Without Malik Monk, the Lakers wouldn't really be going many places right now. This win streak right now is because of him. And you're starting to see with the 5-game losing streak they didn't have Malik Monk. I mean, they missed so much because he wasn't playing. And yes, I do agree with you, Antonio. You don't trade Westbrook for Kemba Walker. That is one of the last things you do. Viking says also Grant left the team because he was the third option, so not even sure if he'll want that. Yeah, it was interesting, but also Denver, he was the third option. You had Murray, you had Jokic. Jeremy Grant was the third option, so it'll be interesting if he would buy into the Bulls or whatever the case. I'm not even sure. I'm not sure what Jeremy Grant wants. Does he just want to play for the money or what? Poo says Westbrook for Hield. Yes. No, I don't trade Westbrook for Hield because there's a reason why we went for Westbrook instead of Hield. Westbrook is a ball handler. He takes that duty away from LeBron. We already have 3-point shooting. We don't need Buddy Hield. Westbrook ultimately takes away a lot of pressure off LeBron. He's able to run the offense, and he's able to become a scoring threat. He's able to drive into the rim. He has a pretty solid mid-range, even though he airballed the shot today. I just like Westbrook more for this team. For this team, I like Westbrook more because I think given LeBron's age, it makes sense for us to get someone like Westbrook. And I think there's more potential with championship potential for Westbrook and LeBron as opposed to Buddy Hield and LeBron. Gigi says maybe him being on the Pistons humbled him a little bit and realizes the grass isn't always greener. I mean, maybe. I don't know Jeremy Grant's mindset, right? I don't know. But regardless, I don't know if he's spoken on the situation or anything, but yeah. Viking says Gigi really wants Grant. Yeah, I mean, listen, dude, I think my ultimate belief is that Jeremy Grant on the Bulls would be good. I think it would be a good fit. But ultimately, I believe that the Bulls would be giving up too much, and it really wouldn't be making them that much better. If you are the Chicago Bulls, you need to make a trade that would take your team from this level to this level. You can't just be trading for a player and then just go from here to here as opposed to here to here. That's the thing that I think the Bulls need to do. That's just my personal opinion. Antonio says, what are your thoughts on Genie talking to Buddy Hield? Buddy Hield to Lakers. I think they know each other or some family or something. I'm not exactly sure. But it'd be dope if Buddy Hield can come to the Lakers along with the team we have. Gigi says, yeah, I just trust our front office. Yeah, I mean, of course, your front office has done a fantastic job so far, given the time they've been in there for. Doing the moves that they've done, I mean, I think it's good to say that, you know what, just trust them, right? Terry Brandon says, maybe Westbrook for Tatum. No, I don't think so because like I mentioned before, this is a point guard driven league. The Lakers don't need Tatum right now. Tatum's probably, he's really good. Don't get me wrong, but we already have scores on this team. We already have a Malik Monk. We already have a Carmelo Anthony. You add Tatum on this, then, Viking says, I think you don't mess up your chemistry up for a borderline all-star superstar. Sure, yeah. AK might pull off a trade none of us were even thinking of. Yeah. Antonio says Tatum should have been a Laker. What the heck? Yeah, but at the end of the day, he still would have been traded away because we traded for Anthony Davis. I hear that a lot. Oh, we should have had Tatum instead of Lonzo. Oh, he still would have been traded away for Anthony Davis. So ultimately, it's fine. It's okay. We won a championship in 2020, right? Two Savage says Celtics wouldn't do that. Of course they wouldn't. Tatum's their future. Why would you want Westbrook, who's getting paid 40-something million? It doesn't make any sense. And it doesn't make sense for the Lakers either right now. They're in a position to win now. Westbrook's more of a veteran. He's a point guard. We need a point guard. If you add Tatum to the mix, that takes away touches from Malik Monk and Carmelo. That puts LeBron right back in the point guard position, meaning he would be handling the ball much, much more, making him more tired. And then THT's your backup, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I think the Lakers should not go for that. Poopo says, what's the status on Kendrick Nunn? So what I just saw today was he's making good progress with the injury, and he's still expected to come back maybe in a few weeks. Viking says Tatum or Brown. Brown's the better defender. Tatum's a better scorer. I'll take Tatum. Two Savage says, checking out. Have a good night. When are you going live again? I am going live Friday when the Lakers play the Hawks. When the Lakers play the Hawks on Friday after the game, I am live streaming. So thanks for checking in, Two Savage. Appreciate you coming through. See you then, man. Have a good night. Terry says the Lakers should have kept Brandon Ingram. Again, I make this point. The Pelicans wanted Brandon Ingram. If Brandon Ingram was not being sent to New Orleans, the Anthony Davis deal was not going to happen. So you had to trade away Brandon Ingram. Or else there is no Anthony Davis on the Lakers. So, yes, I agree that, maybe you want to look back and say, Brandon Ingram, Jason Tatum. But they would have been just traded away for Anthony Davis, if we're just being honest here. Yeah, Two Savage, see you then. Appreciate you coming. But yeah, we'll see what's good. I haven't really heard much of Brandon Ingram lately, to be honest with you. But, I mean, hey, it's all good. Antonio says, who you got winning the Super Bowl? I got the Green Bay Packers winning the Super Bowl. I just look at the Packers. Their defense is significantly better than what it was in previous years. You look at Aaron Rodgers playing some really, really good football. They have a run game. I'm looking at the rest of the NFC. Tampa Bay's falling apart low-key. They're losing receivers with injuries or with Antonio Brown. You got the Rams. I'm still not buying Stafford in the playoffs. You got the Cowboys. Don't get me started on that. And then you got the Cardinals, who I believe are just flukes at this point. So really, it just comes down to that's why I believe Green Bay will make the Super Bowl. And then you're looking at teams at the AFC, right? You're looking at Tennessee. You're looking at Indianapolis. They're all pretty solid, right? But realistically, who could beat the Packers on the AFC side right now? But like I mentioned before, NFL playoffs is very unpredictable. But yeah. Yeah, sorry, Gigi. I said Packers. I don't like them either. I'm a Seahawk fan. I don't like the Packers. Ethan said, who will be an all-star first, LaMelo, Ant-Man, or Shea? Based off of popularity as well, I think LaMelo will be. I love Anthony Edwards, though. Viking says, hot take. I think Brown is low-key on the same level as Tatum. He's just been injured and unfortunately slowed up his progress. I think with their own teams, Brown would have been impactful on both ends. That's understandable. Jacob Wood said Lakers aren't as good as they used to be. Are you comparing it to like last year or the season before? Because this is such a new team, Jacob, right? That, it's going to take time to get back to what they used to be. The chemistry's got to be there. They're building 3 games in a row now that they've won. Baby steps, right? With LeBron on the Heat, it was never an overnight process. It took time. Same with LeBron going back to Cleveland. It took time. So it'll be interesting. Viking says Chiefs, easy. I mean, it's fair to say that. There hasn't been many question marks about their defense. Indianapolis can really run the football. Same with Tennessee. I think Derrick Henry might be projected to come back soon. Out of the AFC, I really don't know who else. I like New England's progress, but by no means do I see them in the Super Bowl this year. But yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. I genuinely don't know who's going to come out of the AFC. I hope it's Tennessee or the Colts. I'm tired of seeing the Chiefs in there. Melo, 4 out of 5 moving in the right direction. Yeah. Exciting stuff. Well, let's see what's good. What else y'all got? Talk about anything. I got the NFL playoffs. They're coming up soon. Unfortunately, I'm not talking about the NFL because the Seahawks suck. But these past few games, I've been seeing some good stuff from the Seahawks. Hopefully, I think they will keep Russell Wilson, and I hope they can move forward and with him next season. Jacob Wood says, who do you think will win the title this year? I may be biased, but I firmly believe the Lakers will get their act together. They'll get healthy, and in a 7-game series, nobody's beating them if they're all healthy. I'm still picking the Lakers. I'm sorry. Call me crazy. Call me biased. Fair. I'm going with the Lakers still to win the championship. This team's getting better. Once Anthony Davis comes back, this team's deep, and it's always been a playoff-built team. So I'll see y'all then. It's going to be very, very interesting to see how the Lakers will do in the playoffs. They could very well be a second-round exit, But I believe the Lakers will win the championship this year, and LeBron will win his 5th ring. Westbrook will go down and win his first. I believe it's just meant to be. Westbrook is too great of a player. Westbrook, 0 turnovers. Yeah, great stuff from Westbrook. Maserati says, good morning. What do you think about Antonio Brown? I mean, let me just be honest with you guys about Antonio Brown, okay? Because a lot of people are making fun of him and things of that sort. It's really, really sad to see what happened with Antonio Brown. And I just hope he gets the help that he needs. A lot of people make fun of him. A lot of people meme him. But mental illnesses are a real thing. You see it in NFL players all the time. Their careers go downhill and their life goes downhill. And before Antonio Brown, started, after that hit against the Bengals, he just changed. Antonio Brown was by far the best receiver in the game, could have gone down as one of the best of all time. And, he got too many hits to the head. It's just not something that it's just an unfortunate situation. So when I see people memeing Antonio Brown, it's just kind of saddening because he's going through a lot mentally. It's just sad. I really hope he gets the help that he needs because, everyone can say, oh, get this help, get this help. But whatever's comfortable for him, it's on him. It's his body. It's how he feels. So I really hope he gets the help he needs. My thoughts and prayers are out to him because going through CTE or whatever mental illnesses he's going through, it's no joke. It's a real thing. Viking says, do you like Metcalf on the Seahawks? Yes, I do. I think they need to involve him a bit more. I like Metcalf on the Seahawks because even if he doesn't get that many touches, Viking, Tyler Lockett gets opened up, freed up much, much more. And he had a career year this year. So I'm glad we have a dual threat. I think the Seahawks need to run it back. I think one bad season can't tell the whole story. Russell Wilson with the Seahawk team, I think they have a chance. Yeah, that's a thing, Gigi. That's what I don't want. I don't want Antonio Brown to be in that situation. Everyone's like, oh, whoops, that's the worst situation. This is someone's life we're talking about. This is not just, this is not a game. This is way bigger than football, Antonio said, if LeBron can win a chip with Westbrook, that would make KD look bad, just saying. I mean, in a sense, it would, right? I mean, listen, KD, you can say whatever you want about him. He's still a superstar. He's still one of the best players in the world, right? But it would make KD look bad. But yeah, genuinely curious to see what y'all think about that. Man. Yeah, that Antonio Brown situation is just trash. It really is. What else y'all got going? Assert yourselves. Let me know who's here. There's plenty of people in the stream. I just don't know. There aren't that many comments. But honestly, it's all good. Appreciate y'all coming through regardless. So, man. There's some great stuff going on. I know the Seahawks are not going to make the playoffs, but I'm glad the way of how they're ending it, But yeah. We'll see. They don't have any draft picks this year, though, so. You think a team will get AB? No, I don't think so. I think his NFL career is over, unfortunately. But like I mentioned before, life is so much bigger than NFL. So him getting the proper help that he needs, that's best for him, that's the most important thing right now. Maserati said, "Where everyone from you, from sir." Okay. I was planning about going to the. Yeah, GG. I don't really know what that comment was. I'm just like, But I was planning to go to the game today. It was like 6 p.m. and I was still planning to go to the game today. Bucks still haven't released him. They haven't? I thought the Bucks cut him. Oh no, you're right. You're right. They did not cut him. My mistake. Poo-poo, you're right. That is interesting, but I'm assuming that they probably will at some point. Viking says, as far as the Antonio situation goes, when people show you who they are, believe them. This isn't a sudden change in behavior from AB. It's been like this. It's just now in front of cameras. I mean, I don't know Antonio Brown before this, right? Obviously, he said cameras now highlights a lot of things. But it's just a matter of I just don't know what he was like when the cameras were off. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, but football could really mess you up, though. I mean, you saw some months ago Sherman, right? Richard Sherman. He was like, going off at his in-laws' house or something, right? And he's not that kind of person. Richard Sherman is a very smart dude, and he would never do something like that. But over time, the hits get to you. It really does. Mental illnesses are real. So, uh, yeah, Viking. I don't know. I don't know what AB was like before, but I don't know. What else y'all got going? It's already been an hour and a half in the stream. I'm kind of surprised. It's gone by pretty quick, but you know, all good stuff regardless. I want to know. I think I did this. Did I ask you what are your guys' finals predictions? Uh, I'm curious because I've already asked you guys for your NBA finals predictions. I want to know what your Super Bowl predictions are. That's all I'm curious about. I want to know what your Super Bowl predictions are. Because we already talked about that basketball, right? And because there's only so much to talk about today's game against the Kings. But Poo says, what do you think about Trae Young coming Friday? I mean, Trae Young's going to do well. He's a star, right? Regardless, the Lakers defense has slowly been improving. They're trending in terms of defensive efficiency and defensive ranking. They were able to defend Damian Lillard, right? And obviously they kind of struggled against De'Aaron Fox and Buddy Hield, but I think Trae Young, given his kind of height, I think will. I don't know. I think the Lakers are going to win that game. Gigi says Bears first. Bears won the Super Bowl. Yeah, if only, right? If only. If only. But I'm curious. I wonder who all these people are, because only a couple people are commenting, right, Gigi? I mean, you're commenting, and you've been in every single stream except for one. It's just interesting. There are 28 people in here, and I don't even know who they are because they're not commenting. It's just like I'm talking to people, they're not responding back, Viking says, I mean, it's like once in an incident, twice a coincidence, thrice is a pattern. So Steelers, Raiders, Pats, and now at the Bucks. This is AB, unfortunately. That's fair. Maserati said, "Who y'all playing in that whip?" I don't know. I don't know what you mean by that. I genuinely don't know what you mean by that. I like your username though. I'm curious though, because I know Frank Vogel's been back. I wonder what his mindset is about the Lakers team right now. Because obviously Dave Fizdale was our coach, and we lost, I believe, every single game with him. Maybe not one. I don't know. But yeah. Yeah. Who y'all playing in that whip in your car? Hey, Gigi, help me out here. Help me out here, Gigi. Malik Monk and LeBron James, 25 points out of the Lakers 37 in the fourth quarter. Dominant. Poo says, I subscribed. Great content. I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you subscribing, supporting, keeping it in the stream. I'm going to keep coming out with content and I'll go from there. But other than that, I appreciate it. Join the Discord if you haven't already. I can go ahead and attach the link in again, actually, because there are some different people. But I already attached the Discord link, so y'all can go ahead and join it. Feel free to subscribe if y'all like. And yeah, appreciate it. Good stuff. Also, another thing I was just kind of curious about is because I know this is a Laker channel. Before this, I used to post about all sports. I don't know. I don't know if you guys are into baseball or not. Are you guys into baseball? I'm just out of curiosity. I want to know a yes or no. Do you guys keep up with baseball? LeBron says the Lakers, he feels that they're in a really good flow right now, starting to figure out which rotations and lineups work. Yep. Yeah. LeBron said this about Malik Monk. We wanted him last year. He says that when Malik Monk fell into an inconsistent role with the Hornets, he wondered what the Lakers could do to snatch him from Charlotte. Man. LeBron says Jason Kidd would talk about Malik Monk a lot last year. When he was assistant coach, he said Malik Monk was a topic of discussion a lot from Jason Kidd. And keep in mind, Jason Kidd's not the coach of the Lakers anymore. He's a coach of the Dallas Mavericks. So just to kind of think that they've been thinking about Malik Monk, man, Malik Monk is that guy. He really is that guy, isn't he? Dang, I gotta buy myself a Malik Monk jersey. If we win a chip or something. But yeah. What's good? Gigi says, when you're cruising in your car, what kind of music are you listening to? I guess that's what he's saying. Oh. I mean, I guess anything, really. Any kind of music, I guess. I don't know. I'm pretty open with music, so I guess that's to answer your question. If that's what you're referring to, Maserati, then that is my answer. But yeah. Yeah. What is good though? What else y'all got? Let's see if anyone else joined the Discord, because a lot of people like to message in the Discord during my streams. But yeah. Yeah, y'all send a lot of gifts in the stream in the Discord too. Something I tended to acknowledge during that time as well. Do you think he's an upgrade from KCP or Kuzma? From who? Right? From who? Because I mean, if you're referring to Malik Monk, then 100%. Oh yeah. If it's Malik Monk you're talking about, yeah, he is definitely a huge upgrade from Kuzma, and an upgrade from KCP. Viking says he's more consistent, I think. Yeah, very interesting username. Poo poo. Very interesting. It's all good though. All good. But yeah, Malik Monk's definitely better. He's definitely an upgrade from Kyle Kuzma. I mean, let's not compare Malik Monk and Kyle Kuzma. Okay? Like, listen, I like Kuzma still, but Malik Monk has improved his game every single season. Okay? He is that guy. And this is what we wanted Kuzma to be. You know, we saw flashes of it in his first year. We're like, dude, Kuzma could be that guy. Haven't seen that mindset from him ever since. Haven't seen that confidence from him ever since. Not to bash on Kuzma, but Malik Monk is that guy. And unfortunately, Kyle Kuzma has never been that guy. So I really like Monk more than Kuzma. As far as KCP is concerned, I mean, KCP was never like a long-term investment for us. We knew he was going to stay with us for some years, right? A few years, whatever, help us out with LeBron and our championship window. But Malik Monk is definitely someone you can build around in the future as opposed to KCP. So I do believe with the team that we have this year, given how older it is, Malik Monk is definitely an upgrade from KCP as well. That's just my thoughts. What do you guys think about it? I'm curious to know, because I know KCP want to chip with us. He plays great defense, but curious to know your guys' thoughts on whether you think Malik Monk's an upgrade from KCP, really. Oh, that's sweet. I don't think the Warriors play today either, which is why Drew's not in the chat. It's just something I thought of. I think they played yesterday or the day before. But yeah. Yeah. Antonio says, do you see THT being traded? No, I do not. Regardless of some of the poor games THT has had this year, there's a reason why the Lakers paid him 3 years for 40 mil. You know, THT is 21 years old. He has too much potential. And he's going to be a part of our future. So 3 years to prove himself, you know? So I don't see him being traded. Poo says, have you heard the comments Beal said about the Lakers referring to Kuzma? I have not. What did he say? I mean, I could probably look it up and see, but I'm curious to see. Bradley Beal takes shot at Lakers over Kyle Kuzma play recently. What did he say? He now has it where he can flap his wings. He can breathe and relax and go play. He doesn't have to worry about all that outside stuff, the distractions per se. He can go hoop. I mean, he's not 100% wrong, is he? Bradley Beal's not 100% wrong, but I mean, yeah, he can go enjoy and just go hoop, but are the Wizards going to do anything this year? I don't think so. So, yes, Bradley Beal's not 100% wrong, but it's not like, let's not act like the Wizards are top team, you know? Gigi says Drew was depressed last night because Curry only had 9 points, even though they won. Yeah, I bet, dude. He didn't. I don't know if he posted any Steph Curry stuff last night. Steph Curry played like Garbo last night. Viking, 100% agree with you. We should be charged for robbery. You know, the way that we're able to get Malik Monk on a veteran minimum. I mean, I'm sorry, but I know Malik Monk said that no other team wanted him, but not even for a veteran minimum? That's crazy. Antonio says Curry getting carried by Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole's a fantastic player, man. And honestly, even though Curry played like garbage last night, you know, that's the thing you want to see. If Curry plays like trash, other players can pick up and the Warriors can still win. And that's what they've been doing pretty well this season. So regardless, I mean, just great stuff from the Warriors squad. And it'll be, I think Clay's coming back soon too. So it'll be very interesting to see how this Warrior team will be with Klay Thompson and Wiseman. So be very interesting. I'm curious, but yeah. Poo says, I wish they could have kept Harrell. I don't. I like Montrezl Harrell. I like what he's about, but unfortunately, he's an undersized center. He's never good in the playoffs, right? With the exception of maybe one series. A couple seasons ago, he got outplayed by the Nuggets because he wasn't utilized correctly, and also Jokic just bullied him. And then last year against the Suns, I mean, Ayton, that's not it. Yeah, Viking, that's also true. Seeing Curry have 9 points and then thinking about LeBron's streak of double-digit points, it's just mind-blowing stuff. That just goes to show. I mean, people say, oh, it's not that big of a deal. Scoring at least 10 points is a huge deal, dude. That's just crazy. That is just crazy. Antonio said he would have won if Jimmy Buckets didn't get injured. You're probably right about that. I didn't watch the entire game, but you're probably somewhat true, right? Maybe they would have won. But whatever's done is done. Injuries happen, and you just got to go about it, right? That doesn't change the result that the Warriors still won. But yeah. Yeah. It's already an hour and 40 in. I'll probably end the stream about at the 2-hour mark or whatever the case is. But like I mentioned before, I'm going to next stream on Friday when the Lakers play. Hey, what's up, man? Thanks for coming through to the stream. I don't recognize your name, so I'm assuming you're someone new. But other than that, appreciate you coming through. But like I was saying earlier, you know, I'm going to be streaming on Friday. Antonio said, why isn't LeBron in the MVP conversation? Well, he should be. But, I mean, if he's not, then it's because he just hasn't played enough games. He's only played in like 60% of the games, I think. He's missed plenty of games. That's probably why. And there is it's not about the wins. It's more so about the games that he's played. And he's missed like, what, 11 games? Santi says, shout out, bro. Hey, what's up, man? Viking says not enough wins. Yeah, I mean, maybe that or probably not enough games because, you know, it's still possible to be in the MVP conversation even with not that many wins. You just have to make the playoffs first, and then it all kind of depends. It varies, right? Russell Westbrook got MVP for being a 7 seed, but that was a historic season, which is why he won it. But usually the best regular season team, the best player on the best regular season team usually wins it unless there's some really historically good season from someone. That's just my opinion on who wins MVP. I'm not saying that's how it should be. I'm just saying that's how it is. So, yeah. What else we got going? Stream for like 20 more minutes and then probably just call it there. You know, like I mentioned before, 2 hours just talking about myself. just talking in general. It's just I need to rest my voice. Now let us see. Um, I'm curious though when. Okay, Viking says, yeah, I mean 28-7-7 is just regular for this 37-year-old. What's new? Guys just different. He is. That's just that's just different. Gigi says, like I suggested, have people call in from Discord. That is a good idea. We are towards the end of the stream. So yeah. In terms of just kind of time framing my stream, Gigi, I gotta think about that a little bit more, just see how I want to do that, when I want to do that, how long I want to do that. Right. So it's really more so just planning that kind of thing out. But we'll see. Antonio says Woods or Turner for THT, none in 2027 pick. No. I don't know. No, I don't think so. I don't know. First of all, I don't know if the money adds up. And second of all, we need that money to pay Malik Monk. I agree with Viking. Turner wouldn't even play a big role for us because of the fact that even when the Lakers won a championship, they didn't play JaVale and Dwight too much, right? And I also don't see them trading THT. It's just too young, too much potential. So I agree with Viking. I would respectfully decline it. I mean, you're giving up a pick, you're giving up a 21-year-old, and you're giving up a none who's still very young and has a lot of potential for what Woods and Turner, who would just be okay with us. I don't know. I don't think they're going to be the difference maker in terms of us winning a championship or not. So ultimately, I would say no to that. That's just my personal opinion. Yeah, that's true. And then also you have Dwight Howard, right? So why would you need Miles Turner? Exactly, Viking. Yep. Let's see here. Yeah, Dwight on Joker. I mean, realistically, though, if the Lakers get the 5 seed this year, they're probably going to play the Grizzlies in the first round, who I believe that they will beat in 5, 6 games. Or sorry, 6 games. I don't want to go 5. Then in the next round, they'll probably play Golden State or Phoenix. I mean, it's going to be tough, but I think they can do it. I think the Lakers can do it. They just got to get right. They got to get healthy. That's the most important part. And that's what the case was last year. So, yeah. Yeah, GG, Monk, Pope, none, these last names. If we just had Contavious Caldwell Pope, it would have been a complete set. Honestly. That was like a meme, and I'm like, bruh. Yeah, Viking, I agree with you. We would take a Bradley Beal, but for Miles Turner, no. I'm sorry. No. Antonio says, I hate the Suds. Low CP3 plays dirty. I mean, CP3 flops a lot. You know, he does flop a lot, and he complains a lot. I mean, people talk about LeBron complaining and stuff like that. CP3 does it just as much, if not more. You know, it's true. He's been doing it since he was with the Hornets. So, especially with the Clippers. So, that's another thing. Yeah, I would take a Bradley Beal though, Viking. That would be something. He almost injured LeBron last year. Yeah, but LeBron was already injured too. I'm just saying, like, people think that the Lakers can't do anything this year, but it's like last year we had LeBron and AD crippled, and we took the Suns to 6 games. 6. Now, just imagine if the Lakers were healthy. The Suns by no means are beating the Lakers. I 100% agree with you. Man, Viking, I've been agreeing with you on basically everything you've been saying. Viking says, I know people been on the Lakers struggle, but to be honest, I really don't fear anyone in the West. 100% agree. I don't fear anyone in the West. Who wins Rookie of the Year? I mean, so far you can't really say that. Scotty Barnes has been really good. Franz Wagner has been really good. Evan Mobley's been really good. They're all in the discussion, right? But it's only been one half of the season so far. They've only played about 39 games. They're approaching the halfway point of the season. So it's still too early to say. It's still too close to determine that. So I'm not even sure with you, to be honest. I really do like Scotty Barnes, though. I love the way he plays, the effort he puts in every night. I like Scotty Barnes especially. Let's see. Antonio said Ben Simmons will win Rookie of the Year. Yeah, you can't forget about Ben Simmons. Vikings said in all those series we would have two of the top three players other than the Warriors, probably the top two players, assuming AD's healthy. That's my point. Come playoff time, if everyone's healthy, I take the Lakers over anyone. I don't think anyone could beat them in this 7-game series. I hear it all the time. People keep on assuming that from last year that we can't do much, but literally we're injured. No, LeBron was hurt, AD was hurt, KCP was hurt, Wesley Matthews was hurt, Kyle Kuzma was 0 points. I mean, come on, dude. That was like probably worst case scenario for us, and we still went 6 games with the Phoenix Suns. So it's just not a fair assessment. And now you have a player like Malik Monk, Russ, who can take off ball handling duties, right? I mean, the playoffs, LeBron will make sure he's right. And if LeBron's healthy, it's hard to beat him in a 7-game series. It just really is. But yeah. Let's see here. I might just end the stream now, to be honest with you. We'll see. Vikings says they still respect the Bucks, though, even though I think they're really good and a threat for sure. Yeah, they are a threat, but they got to make it out of the East first, right? It's all about can they make it out of the East, because we know what they did last year. But we'll see what the Nets can do about it, what the Bulls can do about it, what the Heat can do about it, and maybe if the Sixers trade for Lillard, what the Sixers can do about it. But the Bucks are definitely up there. Antonio says, what are your thoughts on Skip Bayless hating on LeBron every day? I mean, it's just for ratings at this point. You got Shannon Sharp, who loves LeBron. You got Skip Bayless, who does not like LeBron. But I think people get it twisted. Skip Bayless doesn't hate LeBron as a player or a person by any means. He just says, oh, like, he's not Jordan. Because LeBron's always being talked about as someone who's either better than Jordan or just the same as Jordan. And Skip Bayless ain't trying to have any of that. Viking says, yeah, you look tired. Get some sleep. Yeah, it's been a long day, dude. It really has been a long day. I swear to God, I clicked this on the stream randomly while I was in my pocket, but I'll stay. Hey, man, I appreciate it. Things like that happen, right? Appreciate you, though, for staying. That's dope. GG says, skill. Yeah, it's entertaining either way. I mean, that's what they do. All the time I hear Skip bash LeBron, and I don't even care anymore. Like, it's just all for comedy. It's just all ratings. It's, that's how it works. That's what gets you views. That's what gets you money, right? Because they could easily drop it and just not make less views and stuff like that. Justin Savage kicked us. Yeah. I think I'll probably end the stream in a couple of minutes. Like I mentioned earlier, I'll be streaming next time when the Lakers play the Hawks. They will be playing at 7, I believe. So after that, I'll be streaming. So just keep an eye out for that. I'm going to attach the link in the description to my Discord. You can go ahead and join that. That Discord, we talk about sports or anything in general. It doesn't even have to be just about the Lakers. Keep in touch with us. I'll be streaming on Friday and just going to answer a couple people's comments real quick before I end the stream. Antonio says, you think Cowboys won the Super Bowl? No, they are not winning the Super Bowl. Viking says, to be honest, Skip was right about the Westbrook and KD theory on why KD left. He's not always wrong. That's my point. Skip Bayless is not always wrong. People just say Skip Bayless is dumb because of the things he says about LeBron. Viking Poo says, I'd rather see the Bucks or Cowboys over the Bucks. I mean, it's all about preference, right? I'm not going to do that. Thoughts on the Knicks? I think they overachieved last year. I think they're back on planet Earth. The Knicks, they have some potential to make the playoffs again, especially with the play-in tournament. But I mean, I don't think they're going to do much this year. Gigi says Bulls play the Wizards again on Friday. They're going to want a revenge for that DeMar shot. They might want revenge for that DeMar shot, but they're not going to win it. They're not. I mean, the Wizards. I'm sorry. I don't know what people see in the Wizards all the time. I mean, they started off so well, and then now they're just not doing too hot. Uh, you know, they've been on the downtrend. But yeah. Yeah, no, Gigi, I'm not going to talk good about the Knicks. Don't worry. They're not. I mean, I'm just being honest. The Knicks are just not that amazing. They're okay. I'm sorry, Savage Kick. I'm really sorry if you're from New York. But hey, listen, man. Considering where you guys were a couple seasons ago, the Knicks took a massive leap since then. I will give you that, okay? I will give you that. So, I don't have any hatred against the Knicks whatsoever. I think the Knicks ought to be good again. That's what makes the league better too. Is when these teams like the Lakers, Bulls, Knicks, when those teams can be good, that's when the NBA is good. So I think you guys are headed in the right direction. I just don't think this year's it for you guys. That's just my opinion. But I would just say y'all have been through a lot, especially in these past couple decades. I think you guys are on the right trend. 1 year doesn't determine everything. Yeah, sorry, Mia. Gigi says, I just don't like the Knicks fans because they're so cocky at the beginning of the season. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. A lot of people, when they hate a team or whatever the case is, it's because of the fact that, they're fans or whatever the case is. Like, oh, yeah, I don't like the fans, as opposed to the team itself. Viking says, very true. Them boys were a laughing stock. At least you're getting back to relevancy. Yep. The Knicks were equivalent to like a dumpster fire. It was so bad. Yeah, I mean, I understand that, Gigi. But the Knicks, the Garden, MSG, New York, you know what I mean? Like when they're better, the NBA is better. It's kind of like the Bulls. When the Bulls are good, the NBA is better. It's just how it is. You don't want the Bulls or the Lakers or the Knicks to stink. You don't want that. But I do understand where you're coming from. I have encountered a lot of cocky Knick fans. What's that celebrity that won't even show up to their games? I don't know. Antonio says Bulls will beat the Nets. Are you talking about in a 7-game series or just like that, like in a regular season game? I'm curious. Spike Lee? Does he not go to their games now? I thought Spike Lee already goes to their games. Yeah, if you're talking playoffs, they have the talent, they have the potential. I think the Nets will eliminate them in 6 or 5 games. I don't think KD in the playoffs. The Nets are just more experienced playoff wise. I think the Nets will take it. Who you got in the finals? If I was not a Laker fan, I would probably say Phoenix and Brooklyn. But since I am a Laker fan, since I have so much belief in my team, I am going to say Lakers Nets. I believe we are going to get what we wanted last year. Gigi says, if the Bulls weren't doing good and had no chance of making the playoffs and the Knicks did, then I'd root for the Knicks because I only love to see Rose win a championship, even if it's not with that. Yeah. Viking says, I thought they got into an altercation a year or so back, and Spike Lee said he'll never go back after seeing their most loyal supporter. I think that's what I read. Yeah, I think so too. Poopu says, Lakers Bulls. I hope so. That'd be a great finals in a different universe. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I can't wait for the playoffs, though. I really can't. Like, yeah. Antonio said, who would you rather face in the Western Conference Finals, Warriors or Suns? Well, at some point, I want to beat the Suns up. I want the Lakers to whoop the Suns. I want the Lakers to beat them in a series because of what they did to us last year when we were crippled. I want the Lakers to get that revenge. So, in the Western Conference Finals, if we had already beaten the Suns, I want to see the Warriors. If we haven't seen the Suns yet, I want to see the Suns. You have to beat the best to be the best. That's what I believe. Gigi says, but with the fans, with their bing bong, I'll tell you what you can do with that bing bong. I don't think we want to know that, Gigi. I don't think we want to know. But man, it's only a few more minutes till I'm gonna end my stream. Actually, I know there are a lot of questions that came in or just comments that came in before I was gonna end the stream. So I'm like, okay, well, let me just keep talking for a few more minutes then, because I've already been doing it for 2 hours basically. So what's another couple minutes, right? But appreciate y'all for coming through like always. I know there's a lot of familiar faces that I recognize in the stream, but also new ones. Yeah, Viking, I want to make them sons our sons. Essentially, that's what I want to do. But yeah, man, I appreciate y'all coming through. Familiar faces or not, appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all for subscribing. I've been seeing a good amount of growth in the past couple days alone. So I just wanted to thank you guys for that. And like I mentioned before, my stream is going to be on Friday against the Hawks after that Laker Hawks game. And I'm going to assume there's much more things to talk about moving forward because there's only 5 games in the league today. So obviously the conversations can be a bit dry or whatever the case is at times, but still a good stream either way. Appreciate y'all. Let me go ahead and read off these final comments and then I will sign off and we'll catch each other on Friday. But yeah, let's see. Gigi, I take that back about rooting for the Knicks if that means Rose wins. Made me sick to my stomach typing it. Didn't sit well with me. Tried to be mature. Yeah, I get that. Savage Kick says, I really hope it goes well for the Lakers. I'll definitely sub though. Man, I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming through. Like I mentioned before, however you find me. I mean, if you guys find me entertaining enough or whatever the case is to sub to me, I mean, that just means a lot to me. I mean, every subscriber means a lot to me. It doesn't even, people might not even view 140 subscribers like a lot, but I view it as a lot. I think of 140, I'm like, dude, that's like a lot of classrooms to me. That's a lot of people. So I appreciate every single one of you guys. Viking says we're Kim the Fate Savage. Yep. And then Gigi said you can't do it. Yeah, I couldn't see why you couldn't do it. I mean, if you don't like the Knicks, if I was a Bulls fan in your position, I would never want to see the Knicks win a chip. With D Rose especially. That's the biggest slap in the face. Yeah. Viking said, bro, you had like 110 last time. Can't stop the growth. Yeah, I mean the growth's pretty good. David, welcome to my stream. I don't recognize you from my stream. But yeah. You like Bing Bong, everyone does. Knicks haters stay away when we keep winning. Go New York, go New York, go. Hey David, I don't hate the Knicks. That's Gigi. That's not me. I'm a Laker fan. Okay. Personally, I hope the Knicks do well because what I'm simply saying is that the Knicks, when they're good, the NBA is better. Madison Square Garden, the New York market, whatever the case is, the league is better. So I hope New York does good moving forward. Really, it's just Gigi that doesn't like the Knicks and all the other Bulls fans in here. So I attached the Discord link in the description of my videos as well as this comment section. So if y'all want to go ahead and join it, I'd love to see some trash talk between the Knicks and Bulls. I'm curious to see what that's going to be like. But yeah. Savage Kick says, bro, you have 20 views with 140 subs. That's amazing. No cap. Yeah, I mean, in terms of the stream right now, a lot of people have come in and joined and subbed and left. And not everyone, not all my 140 subs are going to be here at once consistently. That's not how YouTube works or just how streaming works in general. But yeah, don't sleep on the Knicks potential. That's what Savage Kick says. I agree with you. The Knicks potential's still there, right? Even though they're underperforming this year in my eyes, they still can do something about it. The season's still young. Gigi says, I would love the Lakers so much more if LeBron wasn't on the team because I feel like a lot of Laker fans like the Bulls because they want to see Lonzo and Caruso be successful. Yeah, I mean, generally, I want to see Lonzo and Caruso be successful, especially Caruso. We love Caruso in LA, right? I mean, when the Lakers had Caruso, everyone kind of just, made fun of him because he was some bald white guy as opposed to actually being a good player. But the Laker fans understood, dude, Caruso's actually a ball player. Like, he is good. And I'm glad he got his bag elsewhere and he's doing well with the Bulls. I mean, he's one of our own, and that's what I love. David said, I am a LeBron hater, unfortunately. Is that unfortunately? Seriously? But yeah. Viking said, Madison Square Garden, if you're a star, come out, drop 60. We have something to share about. Our team is trash, Gardens. Seriously, though. Savage Kick says, Bulls are the coolest team right now, LOL. David Marrero says, GG, go to bed. Dude, see, the trash talk's already begun. Dude, these two Knicks fans, David and Savage Kick, y'all got to join. Join the Discord. I'm serious. Like, y'all can go ahead and go at it with GG and whatever the case is. It's going to be cool to see what that dynamic's going to be like. Because this whole time, Gigi's been in my streams and stuff. He's a Bulls fan, right? So he hasn't had anyone to talk trash to essentially, except for a Warriors fan. But to have a Knicks fan trash talk him, or whatever the case is, or just go back at it with him, y'all need to join the Discord for that. I'm all for it. I want to see it. This is what we love. But that's all I'm going to do for this stream. It's hitting the 2-hour mark. I'm exhausted. Y'all are exhausted. But like I mentioned before, appreciate y'all coming through, subbing, supporting. And I'll see you guys for the stream on Friday after the Lakers play the Atlanta Hawks. So if you guys haven't joined the Discord, do so. But other than that, I will see you guys on Friday, okay? All right, guys. Peace out and have a great night.